everyone. It's an absolute delight to be back at the Inspiring Women Awards. I mean, Jackie, thank you for inviting me back. I've been a long friend of these awards, and I felt really quite emotional watching your tape, because after 30 years, it's been a fantastic achievement. So congratulations to you. And isn't it fantastic to be back in this room? I mean, just listening to the chatter and the whoops of joy as everybody met each other. I mean, I've met some friends I haven't seen for a long time today. And just the crackle of conspiratorial laughter of what happens when you get inspiring women in the room was just fantastic to hear. In my day job at ITV, I'm Director of Public Affairs, and my role is about engaging with parliamentarians, and I'm very happy to be engaging with Susan Williams, Baroness Susan Williams, who's going to present another award, really about our role as ITV as a public service broadcaster and our contribution to the creative industries. And actually, you'd think you'd have planned it, actually, Jacqueline, with having Sally here in Coronation Street, because Coronation Street is just a great example of our contribution to the creative industries, but also our news and the many journalists who work in ITV telling great stories, many of which we are hearing today. I have the privilege, actually, of being a chair of another organisation that recognises women. It was called Women of the Year, and we have an annual lunch in London in October, and I'm also pleased to see that there have been some special women in this room who've supported us in Women of the Year, so thank you for that. So this award is the Extraordinary People in Extraordinary Times Award, and I'm going to open this envelope to see who has won. So this award is going to Asura.
So welcome to the stage, Orla Ball. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Flowers are nice.
They are nice, aren't they?
Yeah. If you need them to have a home after. Just saying. So tell us about Asura, the company, before we start talking a bit more about why you've won this award.
Okay. So Asura, we invest and we look after health centres. So in terms of why we won the award, obviously everybody can remember lockdown and the day that we were sent home with our laptops, and it was quite scary. Everybody it was leaving the Marie Celeste, and we just walked out. But obviously we needed to make sure that our customers, who are the GPs, could carry on, because they are the front line and were the front line during COVID. So we just ploughed on, made sure.
But none of us knew what we were walking into.
No.
Not one of us.
No,
not even the GPs.
Nobody, not even the GPs. So we just knew that we had to be available. We had to look after our buildings. We had to make sure that all of the urgent issues were dealt with, any leaks and anything so they could carry on functioning and basically provide care to everybody that needed it during that time.
So where do you start with something like that? Because you've gone from working in a group environment where you can bash ideas around. I mean, most of us can relate to this.
Yes.
And suddenly you're all sitting in kitchens and at dining tables.
In our jogging bottoms.
Well, I'm glad you were clothed. I wasn't always.
Yeah,
that's a story for another day and a bottle of something. So it's a completely different mindset.
Absolutely. So our IT department were great, and we embraced Teams straight away. And actually, we love Teams now. We work now hybrid, 2 days a week in the office and 3 days at home, and we can choose. We've got different hours that we can do, but I think there's a real sense of supporting our customers. So that just came through. We just knew that we had to carry on, and we did, and it was almost seamless. We really didn't take a breath. We just carried on.
I think that's the extraordinary thing about the pandemic, is that all those things, like I said before, that we thought we couldn't do, suddenly we could do, and we can be quite relaxed about it. I think it's tested our mettle.
Yes, it absolutely has. I mean, the other things that we had to do for our GPs were their premises needs changed as well. You needed to have one-way systems through GP practices. So we needed to change windows into doors. We needed to have different entrances and exits. We needed to adapt their premises so that they could cope with the changing needs of COVID. There was also a big need for, obviously, testing facilities and respiratory care. So we have vacant space and we donated that free of charge. And that obviously helped to see patients and divert them from A&E.
And it wasn't just big business that you were helping, was it? You were dealing with individuals as well. And from what I understand, you saved a lot of them from going out of business during the pandemic.
Yes, so we've got, obviously, in our GP practices and larger health centres, we've got hairdressers and cafes and things like that. And so they couldn't always pay the rent, so we worked with them. We provided rent holidays, payment plans. We didn't want anybody to go under.
So basically, now the pandemic's over, you're a bit bored?
No, no, we're just pressing on bigger and better. I think it's showed us what we're capable of, and and it's brought us together better as a team. Hybrid working is definitely working for Assura.
Well, even the BBC is doing it now. Although I try to avoid working at all. If the truth be known, I just hide in the kitchen.
But we we also launched our community fund during lockdown, and the community fund supports lots of really good projects. Listening to these stories today, we've got some amazing women out there, and the community fund supports things like people who've suffered domestic abuse during lockdown. Unfortunately, that increased. There's also the fund supports new mums in deprived areas. We've got a charity that we support called Active Mamas, and you get out and about with your buggy and exercise and things like that. So the community fund is pushing our social impact, and we're just doing our the best we can to support our customers, which are the GPs.
I think that deserves a round of applause.
Okay, so if you've made a donation to the raffle, this is the time your dreams may come true. And to draw the raffle, two important people here today, two very distinguished people. The first is the High Sheriff of Greater Manchester, Lorraine Carter. That'll do. Okay, Lorraine Carter, that'll do. And the baby in the video. The baby.
I know, I still look the same.
It was a difficult birth. So I'm going to leave the stage. Good luck, everyone, and thank you for your generosity. I have great pleasure in introducing one of the Arch and Title sponsors who have been involved with the awards for at least 25 years and a sponsor for most of it. I just have to say Paul, who I mistook for Tyrone from Coronation Street. It's a long story. But Paul, you never get the glory here. It's always the Cheshire Life editor. So I'm just giving a shout out to you. So thank you. And now you're relegated, so because the real star is here. So Joanne Goodwin from Cheshire Life Arch and Titles, who will say a little bit about herself and introduce the award. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I do feel most months when I'm putting together Cheshire Life a bit sexist, because it is, I think, a bit of a female-orientated magazine, and then 30 seconds later, I forget that. But this month, we have tried to redress the balance a little, and I'll just give you a quick flash of this month's magazine. But generally, it does seem that the majority of the stories in this magazine are about females, and I think that is because, certainly over the last couple of years, it seems to have been the female community that have rallied round and supported each other in lots and lots of ways. So lots of new businesses starting up, lots of businesses that exist supporting each other, communities that are being run by groups of neighbours, and charities that are largely run by, I have to say, women. Now, I know behind a lot of women in this room there will be a great man, but I think all of us in this room will have great women behind us, whether that's grandmothers or mothers or sisters or friends or daughters or colleagues or people that we are friends with. And I think the camaraderie in this room today exactly shows the example of that. Thank you to Jacqueline for organising this. The stories in this room today would fill the pages of Cheshire Life and Lancashire Life every month. You are all brilliant. And there are some celebrities here I know today, Jenny and Sally, but what we try to do, as well as having those celebrities in our magazines, is to feature the extraordinary, ordinary people who do brilliant things day in, day out, and we have had some superb examples of that. So thank you all for being here. Thank you to Jacqueline, and if you'd like to present the next award.
In case you didn't see it, it was a bare bum, and it was very attractive, and such a blatant way of selling the magazine, which is out now, I believe, out now. What page? Never mind.
The one that's turned over.
So the Constance Award, for those of you that may be wondering, it doesn't appear in the programme, is presented in memory of my mum, Connie. I'm forever grateful that she was called Constance, not Aggie. That wouldn't have been quite the same ring to it, would it? The Aggie Award. It's not quite, doesn't quite ring. For most of us, our mothers are our earliest role models, our cheerleaders, quietly supporting us or protecting us when needed. We do not seek nominations for this award, but each year we seek out those women who epitomise these qualities. So who is our 2022 award winner? It's been said of this person, a consummate networker, a venerable ambassador for multiple organisations and causes, well known for being hugely generous with her time and her contacts. With a keen intellect, I'm not describing myself, by the way, so just in case you were wondering. With a keen intellect and ever-professional approach, she is widely respected for her ability to get things done. Overcoming hurdles, however challenging, and thanks to her compassionate and agile communication skills. She understands and identifies with what matters, with what matters most to individuals, families, and the wider community, whilst equally able to engage and get the best from her wider networks. A staunch feminist, she has always supported women, unafraid of upsetting a few men along the way. Consistently hardworking, modest, diligent, she is not afraid of the limelight and always pushing others ahead of herself for their acclaim and their benefit. So who is this person that epitomises this award? She served the people of Manchester as a city councillor for 25 years before deciding to step down in 2004. She has held several positions of responsibility, including being one of 2 deputy leaders of the City Council for 12 years and an elected mayor. In 2008, she became a deputy lieutenant, and I think it's fair to say that she has played a major role in shaping the city's fortunes. Her directorships include Manchester Airport, Groundwork, Museum of Science and Industry, the Midas Board, I need a drink of water, the Northwest Cultural Consortium, Northwest Arts Board, and the National Association of British Market Authorities. To name a few, I had to edit that list. Being an avid conservationist and environmentally astute, she has been a cheerleader from the start and now patron of Emerge, the pioneering East Manchester-based environmental charity, and a shareholder of its waste recycling community benefit society. But most of all, she is that steadfast friend who will always turn out and support others. Distinguished guests, the Constance Award goes to Kath Robinson. Can you hear us, Kath?
I certainly can. Can you hear me?
We can. Did you hear that?
You made me cry.
Did you recognise yourself?
You made me cry at the very beginning, Jacqueline, because I can remember you coming into my office when you were even thinking about doing Inspiring Women. And to be associated with your mother, it couldn't be a finer award.
Oh.
And supporting him. But to say I supported them is just a two-way street, isn't it? It's what we women do. We have burdens to bear, but we carry on and we help each other. And that room is full of people who are much more amazing than I am and do that every day. And I applaud you all. It's wonderful to see you all there.
We were going to award you a few years ago, but you went on holiday, Kath.
I've not been on holiday for a few years.
Well, I'm sorry you can't be with us, but most of those words belonged to someone very close to you, and I couldn't have written them better myself, and I hope I did justice to reading them. And she is going to collect the award on your behalf.
Oh, bless.
Can I ask Lucy to come up and collect the award?
If the flowers don't get to you, Kath, you know where they've gone.
Thank you so much. And again with Lucy, I can remember Lucy coming to my house when she was much younger than she is now. And it was so lovely. She used to ride past my house on her bike. And so my time with so many of you in that room goes way, way back. And great love to you all. Thank you.
Just to say a massive thank you to Jacqueline. Huge congratulations on your 30th anniversary of this amazing awards. Something should be coming to you too. Just on behalf of Kath, because I know she really wanted to be here and she was really sad she couldn't. So she is, as you heard, I'm very privileged and honoured to know her and be able to nominate her, but she is an incredible woman. And hopefully she'll come to these awards again and be able to celebrate with you. Meanwhile, we're going to have a cream tea and a bottle at some point. So, thank you.
Jackie, thank you very much indeed. And could I just ask everyone to pay tribute to Jackie for the work she's done over the last 30 years in making these events happen. But also to Michelle, I don't know if she's available for hire for parties or indeed political events, but yeah, thank you so much, Michelle. I could hardly top what A, Cathy's said, and B, Cathy has done. And everybody, every city needs a Cathy in their lives. But what she said right at the end about women support other women, it couldn't be more true, actually, in politics. It doesn't matter what party you're from. It doesn't matter what. If you're a woman, you support other women. And I think that's been really important for the advancement of women's equality. So I just want to pay tribute to Cathy and all she's done. The other thing that has struck me throughout this afternoon is how much of what women have been doing has actually touched my own life and my own politics. And domestic abuse, I think, has been mentioned 3 or 4 times this afternoon. It's probably one of my proudest moments in politics to get the Domestic Abuse Act through Parliament with huge support, I must say, on all sides, because we've got to stop the terrible plight of women at the hands of usually abusive men, not always, but mostly at the hands of abusive men. I also wanted to mention gender pay gap reporting because that's been brought out for mention this afternoon, and obviously very, very important for women to get as far as their talents will take them, not to be held back by disparity of pay with men. And the third thing that I wanted to mention, which was mentioned right at the beginning, is stopping gun and drug violence, because it blights the lives of so many kids, so many adults, and so many communities. And women are at the heart of tackling it in their communities. So thank you very much, each and every one of you who's not only been put up for an award, but for those who've won as well. But as so many people have said, you're all winners today. So the award, the prize for the tech section goes to Becky Taylor. Well done, Becky.
So, our digital and tech innovator is Becky Taylor from Tech Returners. And I actually came across you a couple of years ago. We did a story when I was working in Stoke about Tech Returners. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, this is about getting women in particular back into the tech industry.
Yeah, that's correct. So we enable women, especially who have had technology careers and then had a career break for whatever reason and lost confidence and lost up-to-date technology skills, and we support them in transitioning back into the tech industry.
Because it's not cheap to get those qualifications in the first time, so it doesn't make economic sense to allow that expertise just to disappear.
I think we've heard a lot this afternoon about people talking about inspiring the younger generation. I think some fantastic work being done in the industry. But the statistics say that actually 56% of women who go into the technology industry then leave. So it's sort of like a leaky bucket effect. So we do all these massive initiatives and then we just lose them. And like you said, it's a costly thing. And that's why the numbers haven't changed from 17-18% in terms of the women in the digital and tech industry. And we need to do something about it. And there's a massive untapped talent around women returners, especially. So women who have had successful careers and had career breaks, majority for childcare reasons, and feel that they can't transition back because majority have been knocked back through traditional methods, knocked on the confidence, and then don't think there's a possibility of actually coming back into the sector.
Which doesn't make any sense whatsoever, does it?
No.
Because as far as the economy is concerned, you're losing a massive resource by not having women back in the workforce. But it's not necessarily just industry that's holding women back, it's us women ourselves.
Yeah, the whole vision of the organisation was actually born out of my own experience. So 9 years ago, I had my first child, Ethan, and it was my first feeling around what the barriers and challenges women especially put on themselves around transitioning out and then back into a career. I sort of like lost all my skills in such a short period of time. I couldn't go to networking events because they tended all to be in the evening. And I realised it really impacted my confidence. And I thought, if I'm feeling this, how many other women especially are feeling like this? And then I set up a Women in Tech network, community network called Women in Tech North, and we've grown that to the third largest Women in Tech community globally. And it was the same message kept coming out in terms of those women wanting to come back in, but they didn't know how. They didn't have the opportunity to come back in. And the confidence, because they sorry to really undermine recruitment agencies, but they've probably gone to a recruitment agency and somebody had seen the career gap on the CV and gone, actually, you've been doing nothing. And I sort of give the explanation as being a mum, before 9 o'clock in the morning, I've done mediation, negotiation, time management, project management. That's just getting 2 young children out the door like I've had to do and get ready this morning, which was a very, very big struggle, trust me. My son actually said to me, he's 8 and he sat in the car and he's well versed at these things, and he said, see you mum, love you, good luck. And you know, it's all those transferable skills and those real skills that I like to call them, hate calling them soft skills, undermines them so much. Around that's the real value that people that have been on career breaks have, and they can transition back into organisations. So one of the things that we've done at Tech Returners is we've eliminated the CV. I've worked in the talent industry for 20 years and we're still making decisions on a black and white Arial 12 document. And we need to get rid of it because it's not telling a holistic view around that individual about their skills, about their experience and what real value that individual can then contribute in terms of the industry.
So you've now got an army. I mean, you should have a word with the Lance Corporal. She's got tanks. So you've now got an army of women, but you're not stopping there, are you? Because you also want an army of new leaders.
Yeah, so we've taken over 200 people through the programme since 2017. Back in 2018, I was very much of a believer, if we're going to change the dial, we're going to have to change it at every single level. And following a piece of research, it became apparent there's actually only 5% of women in tech leaders across the whole of the UK. So the Confidence Collective was born and successfully taken 100 women through a leadership programme, focusing again on real skills, giving them confidence, giving them assertiveness, raising their brand, and phenomenal results. And it's just enabling them to have a platform and the community to showcase their skills and what they can actually offer into the industry. And it's been absolutely amazing. And I think that's the way we're going to change the numbers, especially in the tech industry.
So the pandemic will have had an effect. I think you had a big conference back in 2019, literally to launch a whole new aspect. And I love the fact that you put childcare on so that women could attend the conference in the first place. And then the pandemic hits, and what happens then?
So yeah, back in 2019, I was actually 8 months pregnant with my second child, Amy, understanding the struggles. So both my children are through IVF. So I had 9 years of an IVF struggle. So Jackie's story really, really does resonate with me. And I wanted to pledge to make conferences more accessible. Throughout my career, I've worked for startup scale-ups. Budget was low, time, was precious, and everything seemed to be in London, costing about £200, and then your travel expenses, etc. And it wasn't accessible. So back in 2019, did a non-for-profit Reframe Women in Tech, focusing on the amazing role models we have in the tech industry. Ticket prices were an all-time low, and we offer free childcare. And we had 221 people in attendance. It was phenomenal. So we did want to come back. We vowed that we'd come back next year. We couldn't. I didn't want to put it online because the whole essence of what we do is around the community, the networking, and I couldn't mirror that online. So we came back this year, bigger than better. We secured the point, so the Emirates, Lancashire Cricket Ground, and we literally secure it just with a day, and that's it. So I have no sponsorship, I have no speakers, and it's a massive risk. And we just go out. We go out to the community for speakers because I don't want the same people on the stage. It should be the people that are actually doing the jobs and doing it day in, day out that should be given the platform and the confidence to do that. And we had 448 people in attendance, which was absolutely amazing because I was worried that will people come in person on the back of COVID? Will people feel safe? And we had a whole crash facility in one of the rooms. It was absolutely soft play, you name it. My team was loving it. Everyone was opting to be in that room for the day. And the feedback we got was that these women came on their own. So they're not in organisations where they've got a whole community in themselves. They'll probably come to that conference, and we set up a WhatsApp group beforehand so people could arrange to meet before, maybe introduce each other. But they met friends for life, and met contacts and people that they then can network and learn off and grow with, and that's what I want to really sort of give people that opportunity that it's accessible. And we had people there bring the children, and that shouldn't be a barrier. Cost shouldn't be a barrier. The tickets were only £39 for a full day of learning, of keynote speakers, amazing speakers such as Katie Leeson, Managing Director of Social Chain, to people that have never spoke before but gave them the platform to do so.
After all that, you will not be surprised to also hear in 2019 you were named one of Computer Weekly's most influential women in tech.
And also this year.
And this year as well. Congratulations. I think your award is very well deserved. Thank you.
I suppose it's like events like this, and I think it's an around astounding theme that I don't do it for myself. I do it for, if I can sit here and there's somebody in this room, or you might know someone on your school run or go to a gym that might written themselves off and think that there is no opportunity for them to come back into the industry, that has a wealth of skills and experience, and you have that one conversation. And trust me, what we do is change people's lives on a day-to-day basis. We get messages that, you know, we talk about domestic abuse, that literally a lady in one of our cohorts of Booking.com had suffered domestic abuse for years and years, thought she had no way out of it, and we gave her that avenue, and now she's taken on a whole new career as a software engineer for Booking.com, one of the main organisations in Greater Manchester. And that's what I want to do it for. You know, I want people to go out there and talk about what we do and maybe create more opportunities for people. I think it's just so important, so important.
Ladies and gentlemen, Becky Taylor.